Okay, we are back, and we are having a lot of fun tonight. I'll tell you, not only am I happy to be back, but really, don't you feel good when you get up in the morning? I mean, man, Donald Trump is going to be the president, and all those good people are going to be secretary of this and secretary of that, and Supreme Court judges. He's going to appoint. Remember, he's going to appoint one right now, as soon as he becomes president. Aren't you really glad that they didn't appoint that Obama guy, or they didn't have hearings on that Obama guy? Wow, that was great. Glad. Ooh, this is all good stuff. All right, we're going to talk with Joe in Towson, and then we're going to go to Scott and Bob. Joe, good evening.
Yes, Pat, I want to talk about a couple of things. I was so happy. I got a letter from the Trump campaign headquarters, and I sent in suggestions, and I've had 3 or 4 of the suggestions that he eventually came up with. Well, 2 of the last suggestions I made, and I think one has a possibility. I asked him if the first day he gets inaugurated, first day he begins, to declare the territory between the Atlantic and Pacific as a free speech zone. And the colleges that do not respect the Bill of Rights with withdrawal of federal funds from those colleges. I get the Attorney General after those colleges that are violating the Bill of Rights. And then the next one, the demonstrators. I'm getting sick of these people, and I wish we would treat them like we do traffic tickets. If you get on the street and then if you get on the highways and you're not supposed to be there, I think everyone who's arrested, instead of being just put in jail, they should be fined from $2,000 to $20,000 relative to the importance of that highway. And then those who will want to get a permission as a group to demonstrate, they would have to put something like bail down, and I would charge them 6 or 7 digits for the bail, and after it's all over, if there's no destruction, then you'd get all the bail back. What do you think of those 2 things?
Well, I think they're both very good ideas, and I would support that. We need to get these knuckleheads off the streets, and also these colleges that are coming away with these free speech zones where you can't speak. And the Attorney General has a lot of authority, and the U.S. Attorney in each state has a lot of authority if they take action. And I hope when they appoint those 100 U.S. attorneys, besides the Attorney General, Donald Trump is going to appoint 100 U.S. attorneys. I hope they're all very active and very smart, like Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, like the Trump supporters. I watched them all through the campaign, and I can say I have my master's from Georgetown, and I taught, tutored for decades, and I kind of feel that the followers of Trump that do not have any college education impress me as being 1,000,000 times more educated than these what I call pre-hominids that are goofing up our campuses.
Well, I think that there's also a misnomer out there that of course, a large part of the working class and a large part of the middle class did vote for Donald Trump. A large part of the white community did vote. A larger part of the black community than normally votes for Republicans voted for him. But there are a lot of women and a lot of college-educated people that voted for Donald Trump, a lot of them. We keep hearing these phony narratives from MSNBC and the New York Times about only smart people voted for Donald Trump. They're idiots.
Yeah, and one of the things people say that he has no experience, I think that's bull. You can't have an enterprise of several hundred businesses throughout the entire world and not have political experience. It's just impossible to do that. Like I was just reading about the president of Argentina. He considers himself a personal friend of the whole Trump family, So Argentina...
Well, look, the presidency and any executive position is an executive position, depends on leadership, depends on organization, depends on instinct, the ability to tell right and wrong, and the ability to tell what's going to be successful and what isn't. And what did he do? He criticized the presidents and the politicians in this country who made all these stupid decisions like NAFTA, classic example, a treaty that does not work for America. And he said any decision he makes is going to put America first. Now, that's all you need to be leader of the country. Franklin Roosevelt served one term as the governor of New York State. Okay, that's a big job, but that's all he served. And then he was the president for 14 years. And you may not agree with a lot of stuff that Franklin Roosevelt did. I certainly don't, but he got us through the Second World War, and he did a lot of other things, and he didn't have that much experience. I mean, look at Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was the governor of Arkansas for like 4 terms. George Bush was the governor of Texas for 1 term, and the governor of Texas is really not very powerful at all. He's like a chief executive of the state Senate. So, I mean, this stuff about experience. Ronald Reagan was the governor of California, big state. But, I don't think the experience in government in this case is that important. I think being smart and loving this country is what matters. I
agree. And the final thing I want to say is I lost my track of what I wanted to say.
All right, well, you call me back when you figure it out. Okay. Yeah, all right, thank you. All right, here is Scott. Scott, good evening.
Hello. Yes, hello, Pat.
What's on your mind, Scott?
I'm very happy to be a part of your show this evening, and it was very nice to finally be able to cast my vote for you. You're not actually in my district as a delegate, and there were so many people that were pulling for you. It was great to be a part of your campaign, and I want to thank you again, and I would like for all your listeners to know that you signed a pledge to help out the special needs community, to bring awareness to the traumatic brain injury community, and to fight for our veterans. There were a few other people that signed it as well, but you were the first, and I greatly appreciate it. And you have sat down with me on numerous occasions and discussed that. I don't get that many people that want to do that. Fortunately, the governor's office did at one time. We've had one meeting, and hopefully you will be a part of the next meeting because I was promised one, and I'm looking forward to that happening sometime next year. One thing, if you have any listeners out there, I actually had found a homeless man the other day that said he was a veteran, and I'm trying to get him some help. Unfortunately, I don't have the resources, so if anyone out there has the resources to help a homeless veteran out, I want to get him off the street. He is the worst-looking person I've ever seen homeless. So I would really like to help him. You ran a great campaign. And I am just so sorry that you didn't win because we needed real representation in Washington, and you would have done a great job. But I appreciate that you stood up for the community and told the truth about what was happening with Dutch Ruppersberger and gave it your best shot.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you and all the good work you do out there for people. You help them out all the time. You go out of your way to do that. You were also a great asset to our campaign. We loved all the work you did for us. And when we have our get-together for our team of all of our volunteers, we certainly look forward to seeing you being there.
Well, let me just mention one last thing, Pat, and that was I couldn't have been more disappointed because I did reach out to Dutch Ruppersberger's office in 2012. He gave me no help, and while I was out passing out literature on the first day of early voting, his assistant, Mike Baker, came up, and as you're aware, and and said that he was going to try to have my disability assistance taken away from me. And I thought that was horrible. I think people really need to know what kind of person Dutch Ruppersberger is. He is not a good representative for the community, and he sure in the heck didn't help me out or so many other people that I've spoken to. So, like I said, it is a real shame that you didn't win because I know that you listen to the people, and you're usually out in front of things even before most people know about it working on. So I fully support you wherever you go from this point.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, that's kind of rough bullying somebody on Election Day, telling them because they're a volunteer on Election Day that you don't think they should collect disability, that they're not disabled.